Who is the future of the Democratic Party? Oh, well, we know that there are a few possible answers here, but there's one answer that really comes to mind. AOC. She had an interesting discussion over the weekend. Ocasio-Cortez, someone who has not even a working knowledge of economics, has no idea, or I don't know if she's too stupid to know or doesn't care that she does not know how the American economy works and why it is so good, why it has been such a powerful force for raising standards of living across the board. Yes, even poor people in America today are better off than poor people were 50 years ago. It's not even close. But she doesn't seem to, she either doesn't understand or doesn't care that she doesn't know. And has no real sense of what works and what doesn't. Here's her view of politics in America today. You have to hear this to believe it. Please play 15.
In what you said earlier, too, I wanted to go back to what you said about our left party. We don't have a left party in the United States. The Democratic Party is not a left party. The Democratic Party is a center or center conservative party. We do not advocate for, we can't even get a floor vote on Medicare for all. Not even a floor vote that gets voted down. We can't even get a vote on it. So this is not a left party. There are left members inside the Democratic Party that are working to try to make that shift happen.
She's telling you explicitly, she's saying there are leftists in the Democratic Party. Yeah, there are socialists in the Democratic Party. But so that's one revelation that I think is important for us all to hear. These are socialists, folks. There's a word for the left in the context of the policies we're talking about. These are socialists. And they can try to tell you that they're going to be socialists along the lines of what you see in Europe, but the reality is that everybody in Europe, in those countries that we love, first of all, the reality in places like Sweden and Denmark is that there's a lot of free market capitalism at work, and that true socialism was tried something much closer to true socialism in Sweden, and then when they basically started running out of money and realized the economy was stagnating, they said, okay, well, let's try the capitalist thing for a while. They just have a massive welfare state, but everybody pays into that welfare state. Everybody, middle class, lower class, everybody. VAT tax, 25%, I think, in Sweden, which is highly, obviously a regressive tax, right? It goes after anyone who buys anything. And so then you have to ask yourself, well, hold on a second. We keep getting told that the rich will pay, that the rich people, it's all their fault. You see, they'll fund all this stuff. That's Marxist. Now we're getting into class warfare. Now we're getting into the evolution that Marx believed would occur from capitalism into socialism. And there were arguments among the Marxists in the early days about whether or not that was the proper path, or whether the revolutionary dictatorship, that's the word they used to use, the dictatorship of the proletariat, of the working class. Yes, that's what needs to happen, a dictatorship made up of a collective commune of people. There were arguments as to whether or not they should even go through the stage of capitalism. See, but the helpful thing for socialists when they try to transition from capitalism is capitalism accumulates wealth and creates prosperity, right? There's more stuff. So you want to have that period of more stuff before the socialists, the statists, the authoritarians come in and start just contracting and siphoning and contracting and siphoning. California, for example, very rich place. Takes a long time to ruin it. Democrats are ruining it. I was just out there. I'll tell you some of my observations about that later. They're ruining it. Socialists are ruining California. That's what's happening here. But she says we don't have a left party. We have a centrist Democrat Party or center conservative. I mean, from her perspective, you have to think, well, maybe that's true because she's so far left that nothing would be considered left to her except for going, full Che Guevara.